All right. Hello. Another episode of What Works in the Therapy Room begins with Alistair Hill
Andy MacArthur.
and Andy MacArthur. Indeed, yes. Um, so we got a topic for today, and it's going to be uh, feeling good, right? And sensations in the body, like how people feel, and in particular for me, feeling good, pleasant feelings, enjoyable feelings, relaxing feelings, calming feelings, warm feelings, things like this. Um, I want us to explore this today and discuss this. And as ever, I've just brought up this topic. Andy and I haven't pre-prepared any of this, um, but it will be bits of things that we each have discovered, I guess, on our journeys helping people. And so, do you just want me just to continue, Andy? Is there anything you want to say so far on
You
just me
lead the way,
introducing
Al,
the topic?
because it's quite fun. You always spring it on me. It's like kind of like university challenge. It's like, okay.
Right, right.
So I'm like, okay, are we talking about this? Are we?
Yes,
It's like
we are. We are. Like, so I'll present a little bit, right? So we may get some exercises today too, some practical stuff, but I want to give people some ways of thinking about feelings and the aim of therapy, which I hope people will find useful. So, um, to some extent, all change work, all therapy, you know, not maybe a little bit less so coaching, but to some extent, coaching is just about getting people to feel good, in a sense, right? People come in and they feel bad, they feel anxious, they feel judged, they feel not good enough, they feel rejected, they feel trapped, stuck, all these kinds of things. And our job is to help them to feel good instead more of the time, right? And and change feels good when someone realizes something, has a light bulb moment, an epiphany, they feel good, they calm, they relax. And I think uh pleasant feelings, good feelings are a sign that something useful is going on, right? I think they are a great sign that something useful is going on. And I used to be really enamored with Stanley Schacter's two-factor theory of emotion. I don't know if you've come across Stanley Schacter's theory of emotion. And Lisa Feldman Barrett has sort of, in my view, updated it a little bit. And Lisa Feldman Barrett is a neuroscience researcher. But maybe if you're interested, Andy, I could share a little bit on this and then hand over to you and get some of your thoughts. Are you familiar, Andy, with Stanley Schacter's two-factor theory of emotion?
I thought you were talking about tractors there. No,
Two-factor. No,
I thought you said
not
tractors.
two
Like,
tractors. Um,
maybe put that on the notes below for this video.
yeah, sure. I'll put a link to the Wikipedia page maybe. And there's a good book, Rip It Up by Richard Wiseman, which talks a lot about this theory. Richard Wiseman in that book makes the argument that this is the most scientifically well established or experimentally well established theory in psychology. Okay. That's like the thesis of the book Rip It Up. And essentially the two-factor theory of emotion is simply that every emotion is comprised of two things. One thing is an arousal level, like an energy level, like high energy, low energy. And the second thing is a meaning or an interpretation. Okay. And you can do loads of fun thought experiments with this, right? This is what I often do with people. We can do it right now. It's really simple. Just notice the feeling of the clothes on your skin. Okay, maybe there's like light sensations or warm sensations or soft sensations, right? And as you feel those sensations, move between the word clothes in your mind. So feel those sensations and go to the word clothes. Then feel those sensations and go to the word skin. Clothes, skin, clothes, skin. And here's the question, right, for you. Are the sensations actually different or could they be the same? Like, do the sensations radically change Or was it the same kind of soft, light, comfortable sensations with both words?
They kind of changed for me.
Go on, in what way?
I'm not the most kinesthetic. I feel the skin is smoother, and then when I think of the clothes, it's notice my language fluffier. It's just I notice a slight. It's really subtle, but there's a change.
Right. Okay, really interesting. So you can kind of rig the game on this, by the way. You can say, okay, just localize it on one set of sensations, like just one area, and just stay with that one area, and just go in that one area to the word clothes, and in that one area to the word skin. So actually, you could also ask the question, could it be the same sensations with both words?
Yeah. There I tuned in more. It was the same. It was just
because I mean, here's a fun thing, right? You launch out a word, right, and it'll bring a sensory world with it. It'll bring images, sensations, all this kind of stuff that's sort of attached to that word, right? And what I often get people to reflect on, right, and what I'm sort of encouraging some reflection on here is that it could be the same sensations. It could be, right? It could be. It often changes because the words bring forward different kind of sensations, but it could be the same sensations. You could take one like warm feeling and maybe in one moment label it the clothes because the clothes are warm. Maybe in the other moment label it my skin because my skin's warm in that moment, right? And it's I like these thought experiments. You can do it with anything. You can put your hand on the table and you can go, okay, I'll go between the word hand and the word table and I'll feel those sensations. And you go, hand, table. Are those sensations the hand or are they the table? Not sure. Right. So here's the thing. I'm going to suggest that the sensations are not the hand and the sensations are not the table. Just like the sensations you're feeling here are not the clothes and they're not the skin. Why are they not the clothes or not the skin? Because the sensations could change and you're still wearing clothes. The sensations could change, you still have skin, right? The sensations are just this flow of sensations that are just arising, right? And then it can get an image of clothes, an image of skin attached onto it to create the perception, right? So in NLP, you might ask somebody, how are you creating that experience? Or like, how does that happen? Like, how does your anger or how does your anxiety work? And you can always break it down to like images and sensations, and self-talk, right? But it's kind of constructed out of these things, right? Just like your skin is, your experience of your skin is, right? So Stanley Schachter's theory of emotion basically says there's not really an emotion there. There's just like a sensation there. And then like something else gets attached onto it, like an interpretation. And then voila, the experience of an emotion appears, right? And it's the same thing with like your perception of your skin in a certain moment. That sensation isn't actually your skin because the sensation can change and you still have skin, right? And the mental image, if I close my eyes, that comes up isn't actually my skin either because if that mental image disappears, I still have skin, right? But they combine together and voila, my perception of skin forms. I don't know if this is a bit heady or not. It's just trying to look at like how the perceptual system works. I don't know if there's anything you want to add on this, Andy, before we go.
Carry on, because I mean, my stuff will be a bit more basic than this, but
sure. Okay, fine. Well, actually, there is something really basic I'm trying to communicate. It's just hard for us to see, which is that all there is at core is a sensation, an image, and a bit of self-talk.
Yeah.
That's all there is in each moment.
Together, yeah.
Just wound together. That's all there is in each moment, right? And so Stanley Schacter basically said, look, he did these experiments. Okay, we have a rope bridge and a road bridge. And someone walks across the rope bridge and it's all up high and it's all wobbly, right? And then you get off the bridge, and a few minutes later, someone interviews you. And they want to find out how attractive you found that person. And on the road bridge, you walk across the road bridge, and then you get off. Then a few minutes later, you get interviewed by somebody. And again, they want to find how attractive you found that person. Right? So who do you think you would find more attractive, Mrs. Rope Bridge or Mrs. Road Bridge?
Road bridge.
Road Bridge. Why would you say Road Bridge?
Because you have different sensations walking across the road bridge. You'll probably feel more grounded, stable. You have more clarity.
Okay, great, right. I really like it. I really like it. So here's a question for you. Let's say you go on a first date, or let's say you meet someone and it's like love at first sight or attraction right at first sight, and you meet them and you're talking to them. What does your body start to do in that like first conversation or that first meeting?
You get, as I call it, like your tummy tingles.
You get tummy tingles, right? Your heart might speed up, right? All these kinds of things, right? Which bridge is your body more likely to have your heart rate elevated, maybe some butterflies in your stomach? Which bridge is your body more likely to do that on?
The rope bridge.
The rope bridge, right. So can you guess what the actual outcome of the research is?
Now you've got, it'd be the rope bridge.
Right, so people find Mrs. Rope Bridge more attractive, right?
Says a lot about my psychology, doesn't it?
I want a stable relationship. Grounded, yeah.
Like when I first met you, Al, love at first sight.
Oh.
Must have been a rope bridge we met on.
My heart was pounding and my butterflies. Yeah, right. You just had a coffee. That was it beforehand, and just got confused with the image of me. No. So like that's the thing, right? It's like there's just a set of sensations in the body, and then the bridge is like an image, and then the interviewer is like an image, and they just wrap together in a different way, and they form different perceptions and different emotions, right? And you can use this really effectively, right? So I've done this such a simple intervention. I know it sounds so weird or odd, this clothes thingy that we did, skin clothes, but I've done this with clients. I've gone, okay, let's do this, like clothes or skin. They're like, I don't know. And I'll just say, could the sensation be neither? What if the sensation is just a sensation? It's just a sensation, right? Right, and it just gets like these other things added onto it, but on its own, it's just a sensation, right? And then I have a client who maybe has a lot of hypervigilance, and his heart leaps out of his chest when he's like, got his back to the door, right? And I'll say, okay, imagine your back to the door, right? And his heart stops leaping out of his chest, right? He's imagining it, and I'll go, right, notice that sensation, right? Notice the sensation could be labeled a danger. He goes, yeah, it could be labeled a danger, right? Or it could be labeled a person that's afraid. Yeah, it could be labeled a person that's afraid. Right. Just go between those words for a moment. Danger or a person that's afraid. And I'll say, can one thing actually be two things at once? And they'll go, no, one thing can't be two things at once. I go, right, what if that sensation can't be two things at once? Like the sensation isn't actually a danger, and it's not actually a person afraid. It's just a sensation that's being labeled with one and labeled with another. And that creates the illusion that there is a danger, or there is a person that's afraid. But really all there is a sensation that's having these labels attached to it.
Yeah.
If you let the labels fall away, and there's just this sensation here, what's it like when you just notice it just as a sensation on its own without labeling it a particular way? Very often people are like, yeah, that's not so bad, right? And so you can just use this idea from Stanley Schacter to start taking the labels off of a sensation. Mm-hmm. So does that make sense of like where I was going with some of this?
Very much so.
Yeah.
My take on it, or what I do with clients working with anxiety or panic attacks, I say, look, it's just a sensation. So imagine you went on a roller coaster at Blackpool. People actually pay for that. And they get that, whoa, and they get this, yeah. Because in context, and they label that as excitement. But imagine you're going to work on a bus on a Monday morning and you get that same sensation, experience. You'll probably be in A&E thinking you've had a heart attack or a breakdown. It's exactly the same sensation. And again, all I'm doing is just kind of breaking down that belief, going, yeah, all right, I never thought of it like that. And I said, so it's the meaning you're putting to that. Yeah. So at times I'll do that, or so like some people, watch horror films and get really, really scared, but they know, but they understand, they know, and it's just kind of taking away those labels and breaking it down. But mainly the roller coaster and the going on the bus. I go, right. So working, and I might do some just classical. Really, I still do it. I do a lot. This unwinding technique, old NLP technique. Take it out, spin, turn it around, put it back in, unwind it. People are like, oh wow. Sometimes the most basic stuff works. So
you mean like the spinning feelings type technique?
Yeah. So which way does it go? And they go, it's that way. And I'm going, the classic, right? Well, imagine I take it out, turn it around, put it back in. They spin the other way. Notice my language, spin the other way for a change. And they go like, oh yeah. I'm saying, and I don't need to know, because if your body, and I'll kind of do these well, I understand about body language, and your body's telling me, Andy, when I get scared, it moves like that. So using being logical, if I unwind the other way, that'll be the opposite of that. We don't need to know what it is, just do the opposite. And they go, oh yeah, and of course you do. Now, what color would that be? Right? Very old classic NLP. But then what I'll do, I'll say then, you can either go like that, or micro muscle movement, just that. So you can sit in a meeting and just like, I can't do it here, but imagine this is underneath the table. I'm going like that. Or what I teach clients, I haven't got one here, so I'm not prepared. A pen, might go, so that's interesting. So for like public speaking, I say, get your pen out. If you get that feeling, go, it's going like that. Go the other way and go, somebody asks you a question, you go, great question, let me think. And they're unwinding it. And I say, the more so nobody knows you're doing it, but you're actually doing the unwind technique, whatever you call it. And they go, I notice that. I say, see how simple that is. So obviously I'm loading it up with lots of language, but just saying, look, I've just done that, and you've unwound that feeling. So that's my basic take on that, or that's what I would do with somebody with those sensations. So I'm giving them a tool, explaining how, and then what we can take the labels away from it as well, but using lots of kind of real life like situations like roller coaster, bus, pen, yeah.
I love this. I love the finger or the pen. I really like that. Yeah.
Well, I do a lot. I mean, presentation skills, I do that. So I always like, we're very similar. That I always love to empower my clients. The more I can say, like, you can take responsibility for this, and here's some really cool little things you can do in the real world. Because I make a joke about it. I'm saying, look, you can't, if you're on stage, go, excuse me. Right, which way is it going? Right, anyway, what was your question? And they go, oh, right, I'm saying, but with your pen. Or you could go like, Or even unwind. I've not had hair since the 1980s, but if you had hair, you could like, just like, you're unwinding it. And you're focusing on that, and you can unwind. And you go, oh, right, yeah. So it's that's how I love to do this stuff, is keeping it really practical and simple.
Right. Yeah.
What I'm doing here as well, I'm going, look how easy it is to change. It's like, and I'm not saying, oh, come on, get over it. Saying, and here is a really practical exercise that you can do anywhere, in the supermarket, waiting in the queue at a till, and nobody knows.
I love this as well, because it's just set up for what I think could be useful to go next with this in this conversation, because so you got these methods, right, for influencing a sensation or a feeling, right, and the spinning feelings is like this almost like this tool of imaginative tool to change the direction of a feeling or this kind of thing. These sort of Stanley Schacter style reflections that I've been doing of like, is the sensation this or that? And maybe it's neither, maybe it's just a sensation. That's more like this cognitive reflection someone's doing on the feeling. So like where I've been going with this, that's like another next step, and maybe you might have something to add to this too, or maybe what you've just shared speaks to this already. But Lisa Feldman Barrett, this neuroscientist, she has a 3-factor theory of emotion. It's not 2 factors, it's 3. It's 3-factor, right? And she just adds an extra one onto Stanley Schacter. So Stanley Schachter's got arousal level, like intensity, right? You know, being on the roller coaster, right? How high that level of intensity is. And the second one is the meaning, the interpretation, right? And she adds a third one. And the third one is pleasant, unpleasant, right? I think she calls it emotional valence or emotional affect, right? But pleasant, unpleasant, okay? And the cool thing is about some emotions, some sensations, particularly adrenaline sensations, is that they can be pleasant or unpleasant, depending upon the meaning. Like the roller coaster example, that sensation is like, it's kind of pleasant, it's exciting, it's fun, right? When you're on the roller coaster, right? But if someone has that, like in the meeting on the stage, oh God, that's not pleasant or fun, right? So some things like maybe like adrenaline could go either way, right? And what I've been doing a lot with people, and I'm finding it super effective, is amplifying any pleasantness you can discover, okay? And then linking that pleasantness back into the scene that they were worried about or thinking about, and framing it as a freedom that they are finding. Okay, so let's take your spinning feelings, for example, right? Or unwinding. Sorry, unwinding, that's the way you phrase it, right? So you could pull out and you can wind it the other way. And maybe the person starts to feel calm or relaxed. Yeah. I've started doing this thing where I go, just notice any pleasant feelings going on right now. Does there anything like pleasant sensations? There's any pleasantness. And I'll say, just stay with that. And we might close their eyes, we might stay the pleasant sensations. I might suggest like find a movement or find a rhythm that goes with those sensations, right? And whilst you're feeling pleasant, put yourself back on the stage again, right? Simple kind of meta pattern type thing from NLP, right? Put yourself back on the stage again. And I'll have a lot of languaging which then goes, look, it seemed to you as if this situation had some kind of link to your feelings, right? But just realize that these two are actually two separate things. And you can move in this way and feel in this way, kind of independently of what's going on in the scene, right? Then you can give metaphors for incongruous feelings. There are examples of when people were in situations and they felt ways that was completely different to that. You know, like there was just one that sprung to mind that I shared this morning with a client, which was, it was a story from a woman who was in Nepal and she'd read a self-help book and she had some big insight, right? And it was just before one of the big earthquakes happened in Nepal. And somehow she was just in this like calm, this kind of Zen calm. Everyone else was losing their heads. And she was just completely calm in that situation. It was like the feelings in her body had just realized that they could just be completely at ease despite the scenes going on around her. Right? And it's just like this delinking, if you like, this delinking of the sensations in your body from what's going around you. And then I might say to someone, what's it like to notice that these are actually two separate things? The way you feel is actually a separate thing from the environment around you. And I think that's a lot of change work, what we're doing. We're just delinking things.
Disassociation.
Yeah, right,
You
right.
know,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
looking
yeah.
at body language like this, and I mean that's again, I'll do a lot of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Disassociating from that feeling. I mean that's the phobia cure, the whole thing. Um,
Yeah.
I mean that's what I'm picking up a bit of that. If you
Hmm.
can or disassociate from the story, the label.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Or like these are two separate things. It's like they
Yeah,
in the mind
that's
they were
amazing.
merged, and they're two separate things.
Yeah, that's maybe what was.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to go over. Yeah, you're trying to rather than makes a lot of sense to me.
right, right. And I found there's so much gold to be got from if you get a little shift to start amplifying the pleasantness, right? And to start getting someone into like these pleasant sensations, these pleasant feelings, and really like kind of amplifying that, right? Just notice the pleasant sensation and does it move in a certain way? Can you move in a way that kind of keeps it going, like you're guiding the feeling, like you're recreating the feeling, these kinds of things, like it's your feeling and you're guiding it, and then tying it back into the scene.
I
And
love
it's
that.
and it's like this three-factor theory of emotion now. It's like there's pleasant, unpleasant as well, and really teaching the client how to have these pleasant feelings. So, yeah, anything you want to share?
I mean, not for this call because obviously we're mindful of time. Because I know you've got a client coming up. You see, because
Yeah,
we're
I do,
we're
yeah.
working therapists here. Yeah.
Right, 5 minutes.
But yeah, you're seeing. I mean, it's like again the meta model, which I think is not. It's all I do.
Yeah,
And the more I can amplify, whether you call it solution state, the desired state, future state, and maybe helping that to get it as big as possible using, again, the neuroscience, coming back to the unwanted or undesired state, it changes. Yeah. But the more you can juice that up, and you need that to get any, in my humble opinion, any good change.
right.
That's
right.
really, I love the way as well. I mean, again, this is for our time, we should talk about that. I'm really into kind of like the mind and body, using a lot more kind of body stuff. So getting them to move and stuff. That's more my background as well. We could talk about next time about I do like this is more new code stuff, but getting people into a dance.
Yeah.
Dancing. Dancing's
Yes.
great. Very,
Right.
very tribal, but very get people dancing.
Do you?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow.
There's
Cool.
there's
Love to
one
get more.
called Judith the score model. So but this is not for this, but that's a really cool one. And it's great to do with children, athletes, and just ordinary people. And it's fun. It's fun. And it's using the body, the physiology, and it remaps it all.
Right.
Yeah, but I'd like to discuss that sometime because I love that stuff.
100%. I didn't know you got clients dancing now and again in your change work room. That's awesome.
Not so much in lockdown, obviously, but in the good old days, I'd be a lot of dancing because music, getting music on. And again, it's all changing state, and it's fun. So you get people laughing, having fun. Never thought having anxiety could be so much fun.
Right. I love it. I'd love to carry on, but we actually do have to finish up. So I hope there's been some useful nuggets in here on feeling good and unwinding, spinning feelings, how to use that, these two-factor and three-factor theory of emotions and all of this. So we're going to wrap up.
Yeah, and remember to put the links below.
Yes, I will. I'll put links below to things, to the books, to our websites if you want to contact us. So, hit that like button.
Smash the subscribe.
Join us.
Ring that bell, or we'll ring that bell, or we'll ring your bell.
That's right. Yeah, you don't have any ringing your bell, that's for sure.
I'm going to start singing. That's why I want to start dancing, but I'm showing my age.
Is that a song that I don't know?
Yes, Al. In 1979, you probably weren't born then, were you? No. Oh, well.
All right, leave a comment too. If anyone wants to comment,
yeah.
That'd be cool.
And next time, Al and I will be dancing.
Yeah, why not? We get
some 70s disco.
Yeah, that'd be good to tune into. All right, awesome. Let's finish up here. Cool.
Great. Al, as always, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, all the best, buddy. Catch up soon.
Take care. Cheers. Bye.